Hi everybody, my name is Terry. A very short video today. This is about how to do a motorcycle compression test. This is on a Honda CB750, but any normally aspirated bike will be tested in this way. Let's listen to how the bike sounds. Well, she runs, but the idle's very lumpy, and every now and then there's a little backfire out of the back of the exhaust. So now I'm going to do a spray test to see if the header pipes are all hot. You don't need a fancy IR thermometer or anything like that for this, and you certainly shouldn't touch the header pipes with your fingers. But once the bike's been running for a couple of minutes, you just spray a bit of water on it. If after you spray it there's any standing water, any droplets left on the header pipe, then that means that that cylinder isn't firing. And in our case, cylinder number 1, the one closest to the camera, as evidenced by the water droplets, isn't firing. So let's do a compression test. You will need a compression testing kit. You can pick these up for less than 30 quid on eBay. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You get a load of fittings with these kits, and of these are the only 3 bits that I needed for my Honda. The first step is to get the bike up to normal operating temperature. When we've done that, shut it off. Then remove all your spark plugs and screw into the hole of number 1, which is the first one we're going to test, the correct adapter for the kit. The adapter should have a little rubber O-ring on the bottom, so you don't have to use a spanner or anything, just do them up finger tight, nice and firm. For the cylinders that you're not testing, just put the respective spark plug back in the HT cable and rest it on top of the cam cover, so the outside of the spark plug touches the metal of the cam cover, and this will earth them. And some people do this slightly differently. In an equally valid way, you can leave the spark plugs on the cylinders that you're not testing connected with the HT cable in, and then they'll just switch off the ignition by operating the kill switch before they do the compression test. I prefer doing it this way with the spark plugs taken out on the cylinders you're not testing, because it's just a little bit easier on your battery and your starter motor, because you're only compressing the air in one cylinder. Once you're all ready to go, turn on the ignition, hold the gauge where you can see it, open the accelerator to full throttle and press the start button. This is a very disappointing result. No compression at all, no reading on cylinder number 1. So now we'll go on and we'll test the other 3. And that's much better. We're getting a reading of about 120 on each of the other 3 cylinders, and they're all within 1 or 2 psi of each other. Now, don't worry too much about the absolute reading. So long as it's above 100 and your cylinders are close, then you're probably operating without any major problems. And that's about as accurate as you can be with one of these home test kits. So the kit is telling us 0 compression on cylinder number 1, but it would be useful to know why, so we can do a little bit more investigation. Here I'm putting a little bit of oil down into the cylinder bore, and if the issue is worn piston rings, then a little bit of oil will cause them to seal just temporarily, and there should be a little increase in pressure. Well, that made absolutely no difference at all, and I know that all the valve clearances are correct, so that can't be the issue. So the next thing is, well, let's have a look at the piston crown and make sure that we don't have a hole in it. So it's in with a cheap Chinese borescope, and this is what we see. It's a perfectly good piston, no sign of any holes or cracks, a little bit of carbon buildup. And so, by process of deduction, if it's not piston rings, if it's not the piston itself, then it must be the valves that aren't sealing properly. And so, after many days of work, I eventually get the head off, because that involves getting the engine out as well, and that's a separate video. And when we get the inlet valves out, we find that one of them is bent, and that's the cause of the problem. Anyway, I hope that's been useful to show you how to do a compression test, what it might tell you, and how to further diagnose it. Thanks for watching, ride safely, see you next time.